Thank you. Congresswoman, you participated in a sit-in in the Congress to protest the lack of gun control. How do you justify that, and how do you tell people to trust the legislative process when you did not trust it?
Well, I think this goes back to Josh's opening question. It's the gridlock, what I believe is, frankly, obstructionism in Congress. And this is a perfect example. Thank you for bringing it up. Voters here in New Hampshire and across the country, 85% of Granite State voters want the Congress to be responsible to keep our communities safe. Week after week, month after month, I've seen my colleagues come to what we call the well, come to the floor of the House, asking for a moment of silence after these horrific mass shootings in San Bernardino, in Orlando, and obviously Newtown. And so we were not able, under the Republican administration, to get a single hearing on these common sense reforms that responsible gun owners agree with. 85% of the people want the background checks to cover all the sales. 22% of the sales, online sales, are not currently covered. And so I'm very confident that going into the upcoming session, we will have hearings and we will be able to move this forward.
What do you say to people who say that was just stunt? So many Republican colleagues called it a stunt.
I don't think it was a stunt. It was to gain attention to the gridlock and to the obstructionism of a very small group of people. I keep coming back to that 30 or 40 members of this far extreme group that are keeping the country from moving forward and the people's house, Congress, from doing the people's work.
Sure. And Mr. Lawrence, you have been a steadfast advocate in your support for the Second Amendment. But does that support ignore the vast majority of Granite Staters and Americans who are in favor of universal, more comprehensive background checks?
You know, no, I don't think it does, because what I've campaigned on is I want to be an effective legislator. And unfortunately, the types of proposals that I'm hearing coming from my opponent, I do not believe will keep Americans safe. Vermont is consistently ranked as the safest state in the nation. It is at this point as well. And they certainly don't model their gun laws after this type of gun control. And I might add that the sit-in that you referred to previously came after the horrific Orlando shooting. It was a great tragedy. But the reality is that none of these provisions that we're now proposing would have prevented that act from happening. However, what would have prevented it is making sure that law enforcement had the resources that it needed to follow the leads, conclude its investigations, and also enforce the laws that are on the book. This was an individual that we interviewed him, we knew he had ties to terrorists, and we couldn't get the job done. The existing laws would have prevented this from happening if law enforcement had the proper resources.
Take 30 seconds, Congressman.
Sure, that's precisely what we're talking about, is if you are on a terrorist watch list, you should not be able to buy a gun that caused mass destruction of life in Orlando. And I think there's broad agreement. The American people feel that way, but we can't get a single hearing in the United States Congress. And so that's what I'm talking about. The people's voice needs to be heard. And I'm telling you, wherever I go, responsible gun owners, of course I believe in the Second Amendment. The 2nd District of New Hampshire is a strong gun-owning area and region and always will be. But they want their children to be safe going to kindergarten, going to the mall, going to the theater.
You got to move